everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Ashburg. So here's what's going on. It is currently It is currently Wednesday, October 16th. And as we all know, we are in spooky season. And I love to get spoopy. It's my favorite time of the year. Unfortunately, I missed out on quite a bit of spooky season because I've told you guys in the past that I have health issues and I actually had to get surgery because of one of them. They got me. They cut me open in 4 places. My organs feel like they're in organ soup. And that's okay because the surgery was a success. They did everything they set out to do. It's just going to be about like another month or 2 before I feel 100%. And this is the first week that I'm actually like able to leave my house occasionally and walk around and do stuff. So I haven't really gotten to enjoy the full extent of spooky season thus far. I'm telling you this because you're gonna see some Halloween content way into November. And you know what? You're not a cop. So this week we are reading some Halloween horror books. Currently in my ebook library, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books that I'd like to read over the course of the month. We'll see how that goes. But for right now, we're going to pick like 2 or 3. And the first book I know we're going to be reading is All Hallows by Christopher Golden. So here's what's going on in All Hallows. It's Halloween night, 1984 in Coventry, Massachusetts, and 2 families are unraveling. Secrets are being revealed. And all the while, mixed in with the trick-or-treaters, are 4 children who do not belong. These kids are dressed up in vintage costumes, they got all types of crazy makeup going on, and they seem scared. They keep begging the neighborhood kids to keep them safe from someone called the Cunning Man. But with families falling apart and the neighborhood splintered by bitterness, who will save the children of the neighborhood? All Hallows, the one night when everything is a mass. I truly do wish these vintage children the best of luck. If I was a child and another child approached me saying they were scared the Cunning Man was going to get them, I would not get involved. Cunning Man wants you. He doesn't want me. Did you see Ashley on the list of his victims? So All Hallows is definitely going to be one of the books you read, especially because it's actually Halloween themed. Now for the other book, I'm between like 2 or 3 options. I feel like I want to start them and see if I vibe with them before I commit, before I get your hopes up. I'm between The Gathering by C.J. Tudor, Night House by Joe Nesbo, and Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes. So like in a day or 2, I'll let you know which book I actually ended up picking, but if I pick the wrong choice and you know one of these books is fire, let me know. We have a lot of time this month. I am happy to read anything that you guys recommend. So that's the game plan this week. Welcome to another reading vlog. Thanks for coming. Now, so last we spoke, I told you that I was kind of waffling between a few of the horror book options, and so I decided to try them out. Or that was my intention. I started reading The Gathering by C.J. Tudor, and then I read 70 pages of The Gathering by C.J. Tudor. So we will be reading the rest of The Gathering by C.J. This one's an interesting one. It's actually pretty unique from other things that I've read in the past. In a small Alaskan town, a boy is found with his throat... My thumbs, they clicked off. Okay, I'm back. So in a small Alaska town, a boy is found with his throat ripped out. The inhabitants of the town, named Deadheart, metal, haven't seen a killing like this in 25 years. But they know who's responsible. A member of the colony, an ostracized community of vampires living in an old mine settlement deep in the woods. Detective Barbara Atkins, a specialist in vampire killings, is called to officially determine if this is a colony killing and authorize a cull. Determined to find the truth, she enlists the help of a former Deadheart sheriff, Jensen Tucker. Don't go to sleep, girl, wake up, you want the job. Whose investigation into the previous murder almost cost him his life. As the pair delve into the town's history, they uncover secrets darker than they could have imagined. Time is running out for Atkins and Tucker to find the truth. Are they hunting a bloodthirsty monster or a twisted psychopath? And which is more dangerous? I love that concept because this book takes place in a world where vampires, they're out and about. Like, they are known to be real. They live in colonies on the outskirts of society, but they're still present. And the rules for the vampires are strict. If there is any serious threat to mortal life, then they will literally go in and exterminate all the men, women, and children of the vampire colony. As an American, I can tell you that this is not new to Americans. It is a long-standing nation of you slightly inconvenienced me, so I committed a genocide. So as I was reading this first 60 pages and kind of getting the story set up, here's what we've found out so far. Spoiler free, don't worry. Detective Barbara Atkins goes to this remote Alaskan town where the boy has been killed to investigate. The townspeople are convinced that there is a vampire. They don't need any more proof. All they want is for Barbara to come here, sign a few papers, and say, yes, kill these vampires. Men, women, and children. They don't need an excuse to kill a child. They'll do it. They're good for it. But Barbara has morals, and she's not going to allow them to proceed with the cull unless she has some firm evidence to suggest that this town population is an actual danger. And there have been quite a few things to suggest that maybe a vampire is not behind the killing. We don't know. And the book just has so many different dynamics that are so interesting for me to read. So we have the religious zealots in the town who say that the vampires are the spawn of Satan and therefore should de facto be exterminated. We have the sector of the town who recognizes that the vampires are a threat to the town population, but then decide that they want to do the extreme and get rid of them all. And then we have the side of the town who wants to weigh whether the death of one person, even though it is sad, is worth the extermination of a whole group of living beings who have largely left this town alone over the past 25 years. So it's cool to see that. And then the way that Barbara fits into it as this person who's supposed to be a symbol of justice, how she clashes with members of the town and what that might mean for her in the future and what kind of danger she might be in as a result. Oh, it's good. It's good. And then I also read, I'm so tired. I went grocery shopping. I'm trying to test my strength, see how things go, but honestly, the grocery store was a lot for me. So I don't feel like I'm going to be out and about for quite a while. But then we have All Hallows, which I also got about 60 pages of the way through. This one has a much different feel. With The Gathering, because you know you're going up against the vampire threat, it's pretty intense from the jump. We've gotten a little taste of what the vampires can do and they're nothing to play with. But with All Hallows, so far at least, oh my god, my lower back is killing me, damn. There's definitely been an emphasis on the 1980s suburban life. So we're following members from 3 families. We have the Mendozas, we have the Sweeneys, and we have the Barbosas. 2 of these 3 families are experiencing a lot of turmoil, and things are kind of all coming to a head on this very fateful Halloween night. So we're watching these families kind of implode on Halloween night, this most holy of holidays. And I'm liking it so far. I think it's going fine. I don't think that I'm really getting much of the horror element yet. Most of this has been about getting to know the family members, finding out what's been going on in the family, and who's done what to whomst. And the families have a mixture of issues going on. There's alcoholism, infidelity, financial ruin, etc., etc. Just like things that happen in marriages. If one or more of you just hate your family. But I'm gonna go sit down, nuzzle up against a heating pad, and then keep reading. I'm also debating watching a little horror movie. Do you think, this is a serious question, do you think if I got a good jump scare, I'd bust out my stitches? Hi, so I wanted to do a couple life updates before we got into the reading updates. The first being that thankfully I am healing the way that I'm supposed to be healing. I don't want to get too caught up in the details of it, but basically for the surgery they had to cut into my abdomen. I have about 4 incisions across my stomach, but everything is healing the way it's supposed to, which thank God. I'm about 5 weeks into recovery, but I still have another 3 or 4 to go. So I've definitely just been trying to take it easy as much as I can. The stage I'm at right now is if I even go to the grocery store, I feel everything kind of trying to bobble up in there. So just trying to rest, watch some Halloween movies, read some spooky books, which brings us to our reading updates. In a minute, I did also go see a sleep doctor because allegedly, I snore. My parents have told me, my partners told me, my friends have told me many a time that apparently I snore so loud they think I'm trying to bring down the establishment. I personally don't mind, except recently I have also discovered that I stop breathing in my sleep occasionally, just a little bit. So my loved ones did encourage me to go see a doctor. They want me to breathe, whatever. So I am getting tested for sleep apnea. And if I do, I might have to wear that little machine that goes over your face. So that's something I might be contending with, which I guess I am kind of hoping for, because if the sleep apnea test comes back negative, then I have to go to the center and do that whole overnight lab monkey situation where they watch you sleep the way that I would watch Cillian Murphy sleep if given the opportunity. So, I'll keep you guys posted on that too, I guess. It's always something. What can you do? But let me stop yapping and get to the reading updates. So, I'm pretty deep into both of the books. I'm about 150 pages into both of them. And I will say that while both of these books are in the horror genre, and I think that title is accurate for both, I'm not really feeling scared while reading either of them. And not to say that being scared is like a requirement of the genre, because technically it's not. It's just something that I personally look for in horror books. I want them to push me as far as I can go. And because it's something that I look for, it is something that I like to mention to you guys when I get the chance. As of right now, neither of the books are giving me any serious terror vibes. We'll see how I feel as things progress, but that's where we stand right now. All Hallows. I'm still liking All Hallows. I appreciate the fact that the entire book is taking course over just one night, Halloween night, and that we're so heavily steeped in the Halloween vibes. We're following Halloween parties, trick-or-treating, like a haunted maze through the forest, different spooky things that are a lot of fun. And for a horror book, I'd say that many of the chapters have been more wholesome than I expected. A lot about familial support and good friendship, which would be lovely if I was trying to read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. But I'm trying to get down and dirty. And I'm not sure if All Hallows is going to take it there. I think we kind of oscillate between straight out family drama, acting a mess on the front lawn, I'm walking down the street having to avert my eyes because you're so embarrassing, or then a wholesome moment between two teenagers who found like a connection they didn't know they had before. Like, we've only just started to push into the primary horror plot with the Cunning Man and the 4 kids. We did get our first taste of the Cunning Man, and I, frankly, was disappointed. Again, I'm trying to reserve a lot of my judgments because we're not even halfway through the book yet, or we are exactly halfway, I don't remember. But I don't know, I get the sense that I was supposed to be really scared of the Cunning Man, but frankly, I'm more scared of the 4 kids that he's chasing. The 4 kids in the really tattered costumes that are running all around town, those are the real villains to me. Don't pop up on me in a Raggedy Ann costume, girl. So that's what's going on with All Hallows. Now, as for The Gathering, with this one, the plot is definitely thickening. You would never expect that there are so many layers to the supposed killing of a boy by a vampire, but there are. And as Barbara gets further into her investigation, we kind of are just gathering a lot more questions than answers, which I love. And Barbara's coming to find out that this small town has a lot more secrets than she initially thought, which is hilarious because it's a population of 14. How are you all up to nefarious activity? My God, plant some corn. Really enjoying The Gathering. I'm blazing through. Who's that little guy? Hey, how you doing? So actually my sleep apnea testing device came through in the mail today, and it's actually pretty unobtrusive. It's just this little ring that I have to wear on my fingers for one night, and then I think it measures like my oxygen levels as I'm sleeping and whatnot, but I truthfully don't know the science behind any of it, so could be measuring anything. You know, it really could be measuring anything. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm not really one to be caught up in the whole, I have an iPhone. It's already over. Otherwise, though, my day's been pretty good. My partner just went to the grocery store to pick up some stuff for tonight because I'm making shrimp scampi, and otherwise taking it easy and continuing my recovery. So, that being said, we are past the 200-page mark in both of the books that we're reading, and I want to give you guys some more updates. So for All Hallows. So the truth about All Hallows is that the Cunning Man is not that scary. He's not. The things that the Cunning Man says, his voice and his actions, I think, are scary. But it's the way that he looks, like it's the way that he's physically described that it's not giving Conjuring. It's giving Halloween Town. And I'm pretty disappointed that I feel that way after seeing all the brutality that the Cunning Man has inflicted on his few victims so far. It's not as though I'm not nervous for the Cunning Man to catch any of our characters, because I am, but He's not that scary. The Gathering, though, is where it's at. I think this is the third book by CJ Tudor that I've read. And she's an author that I recommend for people who are struggling to get into reading. Her books are so easy to get through. The chapters are truly bite-sized, and each one absolutely has a purpose. Like, each one advances the story in some way. There is no wasted time. There is no wasted space. CJ Tudor is a writer who keeps the suspense going the whole way through. And even though her chapters are shorter and punchier, it does not mean that her writing is any less talented, and it does not mean that her plots are any less thought out. If I wasn't stopping to give you guys updates on how the story was going, I would probably have finished this book in a day. Where we are now, baby, trouble is brewing. The humans, as we know, are itching for a fight, but the vampires, they feel the same way. They said, genocide? We'll genocide you back. Just say the word. And right now, Barbara's pretty much the only thing standing in the way of all-out war and bloodshed. So I managed to get the sleep apnea test done. It was super easy. I just had to wear that like little ring device overnight. And thankfully it was the kind of device where after I woke up, I could connect the device to my phone via the app and then actually download the results from the night. And then here's where I got myself into like a little bit of trouble. I did mail the device back to the company, and then the company will give the doctor my results. But my appointment with the doctor isn't until the end of November. And I had the cold hard results betwixt my fingertips. And we know me and my anxiety, it's an age-old discussion that we've had on this channel, but I could not wait until I saw the doctor. And I'll admit to the courts that I did some sleuthing on my own. I did some research, every measurement, every graph, everything. I was deep into the Mayo Clinic, Reddit. I was heavy in it, trying to interpret my own results so that I, Dr. Ashburg, could come up with my diagnosis. And then my dad and my fiance ganged up on me and said that I needed to calm down, let the doctor do what the doctor does. But the doctor wasn't going to do what the doctor was going to do until the end of November. But are y'all like that too? When you have results that mean something to you, do you like try and research it on your own before you get the chance to speak to the doctor, or do you wait patiently like a good noodle? But having reviewed my own results, my different values, the different measurements on the test said that I don't have sleep apnea, that my sleep is in the normal range. But then it also said that I was not getting enough oxygen while I slept. There were a few times where I wasn't getting enough oxygen, where I was considered, I think, in like the dangerously low level. What that all points to, I'm not sure, but hopefully when I speak to my doctor at the end of November, she will come up with something. But I will keep you guys updated on my sleep journey, because I didn't even know I was going to be on this journey. I was kind of over the medical journeys for the year, but you know what? 2024 not done with me yet. She has to get her last licks in before the end of the year, and I respect a thorough bitch. It's about to be 6 o'clock now. I think the game plan is to take an hour or so and finish All Hallows Eve, break for dinner, and then afterwards we'll come back and we'll finish up the Gathering. Again, that's entirely up to my body, so if after dinner you see some B-roll, you already know what happened. For All Hallows Eve, I don't feel like at this point I can say anything more about the actual plot. What I can tell you is that this book is a lot more brutal than I initially thought it was going to be. I very much found myself being like, la 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 la, trick or treat with the kids. So it's darker than we thought, which I love. And it's exactly what I think we needed to revitalize the story, because it was starting to drag a little bit. We have about like 70 or 80 pages left. We're going to find out how the rest of this Halloween unfolds. But I have my little iPad pillow, and I have my iPad so that I can read my books. I like to get a little ambiance going on in the background to really cement how absolutely terrified I'm supposed to be while reading this book. You know what? I gotta commend the bravery of these people in this neighborhood. This absolute terror has descended upon the town, and I feel like they've all just risen to the occasion. Generally, they're trying to face the evil head on. They're not just gonna let the cunning man run all over them. They said, you don't pay property taxes here. You're not about to run this town. They are probably going to get killed as a result. However, damn. Let me read that sentence again. Uh-huh. Right. We're getting a little more backstory on the cunning man and the 4 children that he's chasing, and I guess it makes sense. Yeah. 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 Okay, the explanation makes enough sense, but it feels so random. This bit of, like, I think for this to make sense, the author was going to need to kind of plant some seeds throughout the rest of the story. I don't think this is the kind of lore that you can just whip out at the end to kind of just explain everything, because it's a bit out there. I don't think I'm buying that. You see, I don't play with the devil, so you could never, ever put me in this situation and think that I'm just going to stick around and watch your little trick. Some of these characters need to have a little bit more self-preservation. Why would you just sit there and watch all of that unfold and just be like, yeah, the minute I saw that, the crucifix would be out and pressed against your forehead. Do I look stupid to you? Do they have cups? This is so... I don't want to say goofy, but we're kind of in that realm. Is that a spider? You can't be in my house. Never mind, it's a ladybug. Let me leave that girl alone. But back to what I was saying, this book isn't serious. It's not a serious book. And I still have a little bit to go before I can tell you whether it's the kind of fun that's worth going through, or if it's the kind of fun that, like, I watched Ashley read it. That's all I need to see. This is so worst Halloween ever. This makes me not want to go outside. And we're done. That was... I watched Little Modern Family, it hit the spot, and now I'm ready to finish up this vlog. I feel like I have renewed strength, so we're going to read The Gathering. The key to The Gathering is definitely going to be the ending, because as of now, I really don't have, like, any complaints. It's been going really well. So I will be extra disappointed if I get to the end and she on some bull. And I think that happened to me in the last video where I was reading The New Couple in 5B and I thought that it was going well and it was going to end up being a 4-star, and it ended up being a 2-star because of the ending. So really what we're hoping for is for Tudor to finish this off with a bang. I don't know what the climax is really going to look like. I don't know if we're going to hit all out war, and I'm not going to tell you to keep it spoiler free, but we are going to find out. I just opened it up, a little less than 100 pages to go, but again, I'm telling you, this book flies by. We'll probably finish this in like an hour. So the book is ready. I'm going to set up some ambiance. Welcome to The Gathering. I gotta say, now that we're nearing the end and I really have no idea what's about to unfold, I feel the suspense. I feel the suspense. My heart is doing those like little intense pitter patters, and I have that feeling where I obviously want to know what's going to happen. And I didn't film this video for nothing, but I am reluctant to turn the page. I just don't know what I'm gonna see. And I care so much about Barbara. I care so much about the vampires. I feel so deeply about it, which if the people in this book knew, they would call me every slur in the book. Oh. Oh God. Ooh, one thing about karma. She gonna get your ass. This one we don't need to investigate. It's all right. If I was Barbara, I would pretend I'm blind. What? I didn't see... Oh, good. We got a flashback. Flashback. We have like 40 pages left, and Tudor is hitting us with reveal after reveal after reveal. This is good. Tudor's writing is very straight to the point. There's no flourish, and she doesn't waste words. This has just been going so smoothly. And now that we're at these last 40 pages, I cannot wait to find out what is really going on in this town. Oh, I keep trying to speed read when I get to good parts. Slow down, Ash. I'm so tired of men. I love it in a thriller or a mystery when the main character, the main detective, gets that like niggle in the back of their head. There are two dots here that they haven't yet connected, but it's the key to everything. And the book just keeps talking about that niggle, that feeling. Why does that sound like I'm saying something I'm not supposed to be saying when I say it? That feeling that there's something they're missing. I love it when books do that. Babs, what is the niggle? 20 pages left, and I don't know what's going on. Okay, it's almost 10:30. Listen, y'all, I'm so tired. I finished The Gathering, though, and I want to give you guys my final thoughts on both the books so we can end the vlog. Okay, All Hallows Eve. I poked a good amount of fun at it because I think it was just meant to be like a fun Halloween book. And frankly, for the most part, I did enjoy it. I think it was exactly what I needed for the holiday. I didn't take it seriously, and I really hope that it was not a book meant to be taken seriously, because that's not the vibe I got. But I will say the general violence of the book definitely bumped it up. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was fine. As for The Gathering, I'm a little disappointed. I feel like we spent so long twisting and turning through all these different moving parts of the story, and by the time we got to the end, I really wasn't blown away like I wanted to be. You heard me. You knew I was rooting for this book the whole time, so I'm really bummed that the ending was just... The ending made sense. It just fell so flat and was finished so quickly, and when the final reveals were made, I was just like, oh, I didn't want that. I think it deserved a 3.5 stars. 3.5 stars, though, is still pretty good. It's still a very respectable rating. That's it for our week of horror books. I think generally the reading week was pretty good. I was still pretty entertained the whole time. And for those who like horror books that strictly scare them, while both of these books had moments that creeped me out, I wouldn't say it ever rose to the stage where I was like actually scared to read it. But that's all I have for you. It's 10:30, y'all. It's way past my bedtime. The comforter's in the dryer. I gotta take it out. So thank you so much for visiting Ashburg. We were so happy to have had you, and we hope to see you again very, very soon. With a spooky video, because it's still not over yet. Bye!